Great. So a warm welcome to all our attendees for the first MEMPC Joint Info session. This is for programs for students with less than 2 years of work experience. And these are the programs that we'll be presenting today. A little bit about MEMPC. This is the agenda. So let me introduce MEMPC, and then each of the programs will give an overview of their program, and then we'll have about 20 minutes left for Q&A. So a little bit about MEMPC. MEMPC is a consortium of 9 universities with the primary goal of working together to promote engineering management programs to students and organizations. I'm assuming that you've all heard about engineering management since you signed up for this info session, but if you haven't heard, engineering management is the intersection of engineering management and leadership for students who have an engineering background and are aspiring to become business savvy technology leaders. You can see the 9 schools that are part of the consortium at the bottom of my screen. So we have Cornell University, Dartmouth College, Duke University, Johns Hopkins, MIT, Northwestern, Purdue, Tufts, and USC. So without taking a lot of your time, I will start with each of the programs introduction. So Lisa, you want to take it away?
Sure, yes. Can everyone hear me? Just a thumbs up from Rutu would be enough. All right, I'll go ahead and go forward. My name is Lisa Gerber. I'm the program manager for the engineering management program at Cornell University. I'm going to jump in and give you a quick program snapshot. This is a full-time program that's on-campus program in Ithaca, New York. You can complete our degree in 2 or 3 semesters. In 2 semesters, you pay less tuition and get to the workforce quickly. But if you opt for 3 semesters, you can add an internship, take more electives or extracurriculars, or even start a company while you're here. The last thing I'll say before moving on is that Ithaca is a really great place to be. I've included a link on this slide that gives you a virtual campus tour if you want to learn more about what campus in Ithaca is all about. Next slide, please. The best thing about Cornell is really our students. We have a cohort of about 40 to 50 students, and 50% of them are women. Cornell really set the standard for diversity. We're the first university to hit gender parity at the undergrad level in engineering. We first admitted a woman to engineering in 1870. Students here are really embedded in the College of Engineering. There are 15 schools of engineering that you can take classes from, and there are approximately 5,000 engineering undergrads and grad students here. Students take advantage of everything that Cornell has to offer, and our EM students win university-wide hackathons. They start and participate in Cornell clubs, and they're just very involved in campus life. Next slide. So there are 3 main pillars to our curriculum. We want you to learn to lead people, advance your business, and disrupt your field. In this quick presentation, I want to focus on our program's flexible degree options, our career placement, and our alumni network. Next slide, please. I know there's a lot on this slide, but I want to give you an overview of our core curriculum and some of our flexible options. We have 7 required courses that are taught by our engineering management faculty. You can also choose 1 course in organizational behavior. After that, you can really customize your degree to fit your interests and your goals. We have 7 specializations on the right here, but our most popular option is the build your own track option. So you can work closely with your advisor to mix and match classes in the College of Engineering, Johnson School of Business, the law school. It's really up to you. Next slide. We also have a capstone project requirement. For the project course, you'll work with a team to solve real-world problems in partnership with industry. In the past, we have been in collaboration with industries such as IBM, Pepsi, Boeing, and Amazon Robotics. Student teams act as consultants to develop, lead, and execute deliverables in these projects. There are site visits to the company. Students present their findings to leaders. It's really just a great experience, and our students love it. Again, I want to highlight the flexibility of our program. So every year we have several students in our cohort who are part of the immersion program at the Johnson School, and they actually complete their capstone project over there in something like strategic operations. Next slide. Here are a few career placement statistics. Our graduates go on to become product managers, technical leaders, project engineers, program managers, and consultants. We're also seeing a trend where some of our graduates work for startup companies or start their own business. Next slide. This is a really quick slide. Get ready, Rutu. This is just a small sample of the companies that have recently employed our graduates. So next slide. Another strength of our program is our alumni network. Our alumni are active and they're global. We're proud to count the founders of Wayfair and John Zimmer of Lyft as alumni. Our alumni network partners with us in a number of ways. They often give talks or seminars in the department. They connect students with people in their field of interest, and they partner with us to create capstone projects. Next slide. A great example of our career and alumni connection is the annual career trek to New York City. Students go to New York City together, which is about a 4-hour drive from Ithaca. They meet with alumni at companies such as Facebook, Goldman Sachs, Lyft, and Ernst & Young. These visits are a really unique opportunity to engage with top engineering management employers. Our alumni hosts give tours of the company, provide insights about general day-to-day operations, and share relevant job opportunities. Next slide. So this is my last slide. I just want to thank everyone again for hearing a little bit more about the Cornell program. I hope you consider applying to us and take part in our flexible degree options. If you'd like to know more about Cornell, you can email me, attend one of our upcoming info sessions, and we'll dive a little bit deeper. Or I also have my Calendly page on here. I'm happy to speak with you one-on-one, and you can schedule a meeting with me. So thanks again.
Thank you, Lisa. That was perfect. So next up, we have Dartmouth College. Russ, take it away.
Hi, everyone. So a lot of similarities. I think we're going to hear that a lot throughout. So we're going to just change the color from red to green here. So I'm here at Dartmouth College. We're the smallest member of the Ivy League. You just heard from the largest, I think, right? Cornell, I think, is the largest in terms of student population. I'm seeing if Lisa is nodding her head. Yeah. So we have about 4,000 undergraduate students and about 2,000 graduate students in total. And we're located in Hanover, New Hampshire, which I didn't do my normal sort of slide that shows where we are, but we're about 2.5 hours north of Boston, about 4.5, 5 hours north of New York City. Next slide. Ooh, this one you're gonna have to click through a whole bunch of times until you hit, just keep going until you see the second fall term. So our program is a 15-month program. Everybody starts in the fall term. We only have a fall entry into the program. We do a full year of academics. Then all of our students have to do a project off campus working for a company, and then they come back for one final fall term. There's sort of two reasons that we do this. One is we just can't pack in all of the electives that we want to offer the students into one term, one academic year. And also we find that second fall term is really mission critical for those students to be able to do the on-campus recruiting that happens traditionally in the fall term. And having done all of your required work in that first fall term and applied it in a summer internship project, we find that those recruiting opportunities in that second fall term are just vastly better than a traditional one-year program where you're immediately having to recruit and talk about the stuff you are going to accomplish in that first year. Next slide. So the academics that you go through, we have 4 core engineering courses that you have to do while you go through the engineering management program: statistics, optimization, technology assessment, and data analytics or operations research. You get to choose. And then on the business side, if you click to the next slide, operations management, whoa, we lost him. Marketing, operations, finance, and accounting, all taught by our business school as you go through the program. So we're sort of, again, like all of these programs, we're hitting both the business and the engineering side. We'll hit the next slide. Maybe, there we go. And then you have 4 electives to choose as you can sort of specialize your MEM as you go through it. Ruth, if you hit one slide ahead, you should see some other graphics. So these are just areas that a lot of our students, we historically have had focus areas. We're going away from that now. We still assume students will be focusing in these areas, as well as sort of product management is another place that's on the rise. You can take electives in the engineering school, you can take electives at business school, computer science is also popular. And we do also have a relationship with Vermont Law School, a student exchange. So if you want to take law-related courses, you can go to Vermont Law School and take courses there. Next slide. There are 2 additional credits you get while you go through the MEM program. The Professional Skills Workshop, which is basically this transition from student to professional. I won't go into details here, but it's notable in the first term. And then in the after that first year, you do have that summer internship. It is an academic course, and so you are off campus, you're working for a company. Here are some examples. People work for big companies, they work for small companies. But you're applying what you've learned in the program, that engineering management skill set, to an actual company problem. And you are being academically reviewed by a review board, both back on campus as well as a final report that is reviewed by a professor. Next slide. So students, we have a class size of about 50 students. Somewhere between a third and a half, depending on each given class, are women. We tend to have students somewhere between 0 and 2 years of work experience, which is why we're on this webinar today. About half of our students right now have about work experience, but it's oscillated between 1/3 and a half. And I won't go into detail about the student council right now for this purpose. Let's go to the next slide. Just like we were hearing from Cornell, we do career tracks to both to Boston, and our big one is out to Silicon Valley in the winter term. A lot of our students go out there, picture of them at Google. Alumni network, just like you heard from Cornell as well, is really important to both Dartmouth and to our MEM program. For those who don't have work experience, it's mission critical that you get that internship experience during your time here. And then one thing that we really pride ourselves on is our Corporate Collaboration Council. It's a group of executives out in industry that provide feedback to us, the directors of the program, but they also, we pair you up with one of them to mentor you as you go through that first year of campus, on campus, doing the program. And so they come to campus and visit, but also talk with you about resumes, cover letters, thinking about what you want to do in your career as you go out there. Next slide. So career paths, one thing you can do if you want to go to our website, we publish every single company, job title, and location of where all of our students have gone for the past 3 years. They get aggregated into these 2 little pie charts just to give you an idea of where our students go. On the industry side on the left, obviously engineers coming in, most of them are going to technology companies, healthcare and energy companies, management, consulting, financial services sort of wrap those out. But the big change for anybody who's thinking about engineering management is really the right side here about what are you going to do with your degree. And what you'll notice here is, at least at Dartmouth, product management and business operations and business analytics are sort of the big places where most of our students go after a degree like this. Next slide.
All right, Ross, you have. Oops.
I know, I got one more slide. I'm talking about admissions, then we're done. So here's the admissions data. You can check it out online as well. And hopefully Rutu will be sending out the slides after this, so I won't go into great detail. January 15th is our deadline. Hope you all apply. And then go to the next slide, just because I realized I didn't introduce myself at all. If you want to get in contact with me, I'm the Associate Director for the MEM program. And really important, if anybody's more interested in Dartmouth, learning more, this is a condensed version of a webinar that I'm doing next on November 13th. So if you go to our website, you can sign up for that webinar and get a lot more detail. All done.
Perfect. Thank you, Ross. So we've heard from 2 schools, and the next up, we have the MEM program at Duke University. All right, Brett.
Still muted. Oh, there we go. Very good. Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Fox. I'm the Executive Director of Duke's MEM program, and wanted to really talk to you about choosing your path. I think one of the things that you'll find in this webinar is any of these schools are phenomenal places for you to get your education, and really what you need to do is to figure out which one is the best fit for you. And so what I'd like to try and do is highlight a few of the things at Duke University and help you make a decision of what program may make the most sense for you. So if you go to the next slide, it just shows kind of 5 things I wanted to talk about: our academics, our curriculum, career, kind of the student experience, and a little bit about where we are, because where you go to school may matter to you, and so want to make sure you know where Durham North Carolina is. So if you go to the next slide, let's talk about academics. I think one of the things that's very clear is all the universities within the consortium are phenomenal. So we won't talk about some of those things, but I think it is fair to talk about kind of university size. So Duke University has about 15,000 students, about 6,500 undergrads and about 8,500 graduate students. Within the engineering school, we do have around 1,200 graduate students and 1,200 undergraduate students. One of the things about Duke's MEM program, it is one of the larger schools in the consortium. So we have about 140 students coming in each year for our residential program and about 30 students coming in each year for our distance program. And we feel that we are somewhat larger than some of the other programs, and this gives us some breadth in the course offerings that we have, but that is one of the differences in schools and one of the things you want to think about, you know, what sort of program would you like to participate in? I do also have a couple of slides here of the campus. We are sometimes referred to as the campus in a forest. It is a highly wooded area with a very Gothic architecture, which is interesting. I think the other thing about Duke is we are somewhat passionate about our basketball, which is why you see a slide there. So we do have a strong emphasis on academics, but we also like to have fun outside of the classroom. So if you go to the next slide, please. Let's talk about the curriculum. And I think, you know, as you compare programs, each of the curriculums are similar, but each of them are somewhat different. We require 4 business courses, a course in marketing, a course in finance and accounting, a course in intellectual property and business law, and a course in leadership and management. We have a seminar series and a professional development workshop series. Ross talked about what they have at Dartmouth. It is somewhat similar to that, a little bit structured a little bit differently, but the same idea. We want to help develop not only your academic skills, but your professional skills. We also require an internship, and students usually do that over the summer, but they may do that before they come to the program or after the completion of their academic classes. And then, as many of the other directors have talked about, right, the technical electives are really where you get to customize your education, because we, students in engineering management, pursue a wide variety of areas. And so we have kind of 6 tracks, which are simply guidance for students, where we have collections of electives that may make sense for individuals wanting to pursue that track. And then we also have a build your own track where you can customize your education. So why don't we go to the next slide? Career outcomes, as other of the directors have mentioned, a lot more information is available on our website talking about roles that students go into. Because we have a variety of tracks, students go into a variety of roles, whether it's product management or operations or analytics. And then, as you can see, a wide variety of companies hire our graduates as well. I think one of the things that I like to point out, and as I said, we have this interactive Tableau feature on our website, is that although we are located in North Carolina, which is on the East Coast, our graduates go across the country to a wide variety of different locations. And so just wanted to point out that, as I said, the program's in North Carolina, but our graduates go nationwide. And so let's go to the next slide. So one of the things that we really try to emphasize is your experience outside of the classroom. And so we have a student group, which is known as our Program Development Committee. They do a variety of things to make your life, feel part of the community while you're here at Duke. And so we have a number of clubs, student activities club, a communications club, as well as our career clubs, energy, finance, consulting, and product management at the moment, but that somewhat changes depending on student interest. You're also able to join clubs across Duke University, but these are just some of the ones we offer within the MEM program. And why don't we go to the next slide, please? And so finally, I did want to talk a little bit about location, because most people may not have heard of where Durham, North Carolina is. So you see a picture of the map. We are kind of in the middle of the East Coast side of the country. Durham is about 250,000 residents, so it's a mid-sized city in the U.S. We are in what's often referred to as the Research Triangle, and so that region has about 2 million people. And Durham is certainly a very vibrant place with a lot of restaurants and things to do. So as I said, not only inside of the classroom, but outside the classroom, it's really a great place to be. And so with that, if we go to the next slide, here's my contact information. Again, as with the other program leaders, very happy to talk to you more about Duke University. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. We move straight on to Johns Hopkins. Lindsay, Pam?
There we go. Hi. Thank you all. I'm Pam Sheff. I'm the director of the MSEM program at Johns Hopkins. And like everyone else, we have a very flexible program and a very student-friendly program. As you can see, our campus is a beautiful, leafy campus right on the north end of Baltimore in a very beautiful part of the city. Next slide, if we could. Okay, and this is really who we are. We think of ourselves as having a global emphasis. We are like most of the other programs, about 60% international, 40% US. We don't have quite parity male and female, but we are certainly aiming for that. But we are a little bit different I think, in that we are a cohort program, and we are deliberately a cohort program. We have fall entry only, and the first semester of our program is really designed for people who have little to no work experience, because it's heavily project-based. You take classes with your cohort. You are immersed in projects and in professional presentations, so that you are ready by the time you finish that first semester. You have the finance skills, the presentation skills, the strategy skills to go into our January immersion program. And that, the technical name for that is the practice of consulting, but everyone calls it the immersion program because we send teams of students to work with clients abroad. Right now, we're in Spain, Denmark, Israel, Portugal, and as well as several projects in Baltimore. And we've designed the program this way because by the time you return from your January immersion, you have wonderful stories to tell when you go out on the job market. So our students do very, very well that way, and we are really pleased with the transformation that occurs between the time you arrive and the time that you start on the job search, either the job search or the internship search. Most of our students do the program in 18 months. We have some who stay for 2 years, and students who are Hopkins undergrads can do it in 1 year. We also have another option for international students who are interested in doing the program in a year, and that's called Home to Homewood. Do we have that on our next slide, last slide? Okay. I'll just talk a little bit about that now, and you'll see it on our next slide. Home to Homewood allows students, and they can be either domestic or abroad, to take classes through our Engineering for Professionals program, which is our distance program, before they arrive. So you can take courses from any technical track that you like, and they count towards your 5 technical course requirements. So you can begin before you get here. It's a less expensive option as well. You come for your year, do the cohort program here, and then you are ready to go on the job market if you'd like at that point. So that's become a very popular option for us. One of our key, I think, differentiators is that we are a very entrepreneurially oriented program. We have a suite of courses designed around the concept of innovation and business design. So we have students who start businesses, We have students who work on a project we have with NATO. We are very closely connected to our alumni who offer us a great deal of real world projects. Our focus is not so much to turn out entrepreneurs, although we do want to do that, but we want to give everyone the skills to be entrepreneurial about their careers. We have the next slide, please. Okay. Our curriculum is split between management courses and technical courses. We require 5 technical courses, and we have it's very flexible. You can choose from a wide range of technical specialties, and you can see all of those on our website. So you can do those over the course of a year to 18 months. The management courses you take largely in your first year. So the first semester you take 3 of them, and they're very intensive. It's strategies for innovation and growth, strategies for accounting and finance, professional presentations, and an MSEM seminar. Then you can take an elective as well. And we have a wide range of electives, and you can take whatever you like. In your second semester, we have 2 management courses that are required: leading change and managing people and resolving conflicts. So typically you would take 1 technical course during your first semester, 2 during your third, or more if you want to graduate in 1 year, and then in the third semester you would finish up. Many of our students go part-time in the final semester, and that really lowers the cost of the program. May we see the next slide, please? Okay, here's our slide on Home to Homewood, which we have our first graduate coming up this year. We just introduced this in 2018, and we think it will really be a big plus for our international students. Next slide. Is that our last one? Oh, well,
that is it.
But if we go back, Rutu, could you take us back to the first slide where I think we have our contact information and our deadline? So please, if you're interested in our program, go to our website, go to our Facebook page, and reach out to us, because we're happy to talk with you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Pam. That was Johns Hopkins MSEM program. Let's move on to Purdue, and I know that I have the slides for it, so give me a second. Eric, would you like the slides, or do you want to just walk through this?
I would love the slides if they're available, but no worries if not.
Alrighty. Give me a second.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. Yeah, hi everybody. Nice to speak with you. My name is Eric Vandevoordy. I'm the Director of Professional Engineering Master's Programs at Purdue University. And just thank you for joining us. Thank you to Rutu. Thank you for all of our great colleagues at the other consortium member institutions. I have to say, you know, as a student looking into an MEM program, you really do have a difficult choice ahead of you because all of the programs in the consortium are amazing. So good luck with that. Let me tell you a little bit about Purdue here. You know, we are just celebrating our 150th anniversary. We're a public institution, and you know, we're known for so many different things, particularly our engineering school, of course. But we're the cradle of astronauts. You know, we have alumni such as Neil Armstrong, and you know, Amelia Earhart was a guest faculty member at our institution. It's just a great place to be. There's so much innovation going on, so many industry partnerships. We're 1 hour northwest of Indianapolis, just about 2.5 hours southeast of Chicago. So it's a really friendly, welcoming community where you also have access to, you know, some of the largest cities in the United States. Rutu, if you wouldn't mind flipping to that next slide for me, please. Yeah, hi, it's me. Now you have double pictures of me. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about some of our program details today, but honestly, I just really sort of want to talk to you about what it feels like to be a student in Purdue's MEM program. We're a fairly small program. We have 57 students. We have 2 full-time dedicated staff members, along with additional support staff that help us run the program. So, you know, you get a lot of personalized attention. I was just in a meeting yesterday with a student talking about an idea he had for starting up a company. I was doing a WhatsApp call with one of our students that's joining us this spring yesterday, I've gone to India for 2 weeks a couple of years ago to speak with students and meet with institutions. So, you know, when you come to our program, not only is the campus community and the, you know, local community at large really a fantastic place, but you're really getting a lot of individualized support and, you know, becoming a part of a community as a Purdue Boilermaker. All right, thanks, Ritu. Next slide, if you could, please. We want you to develop your whole self while you're a student in our program. You know, I come from a family of engineers and pilots, you know, and the skill set that my father needed as a mechanical engineer is not the one that my brother's using now, you know, as an aerospace engineer. And so, you know, we really understand that we want you to have a complete skill set when you do make that transition into industry as a technical leader. So we want you to understand how to communicate with individuals. We want you to understand how to build teams. Obviously, you need all that technical capacity that you'll get through the curriculum, both on the engineering side and on the management side. But you also need you know, you need support from your peers. You need to be able to network with industry partners that maybe can help you as part of your job search. And you really just also need to become a better version of yourself while you're here. And so there are a lot of different ways that we're helping you accomplish that, as you can see here. All right, next one, Ritu, please. Thank you. So I want to just talk briefly about, you know, the engineering subjects that you have available and the management subjects that you have available. You know, Purdue is a large institution. We have 43,000 students. 13,000 of those students are graduate students. So joining Purdue MEM is awesome because you get the small community of our program, and yet you have access to this fantastically massive scale of resources. So this list that you're seeing here in terms of engineering disciplines, each of these disciplines has their own school, has their own faculty. And so, you know, we're uniquely situated because we function out of our dean's office. So we're sort of at like an umbrella over the College of Engineering. And so we're very fortunate that our students can filter out into all of these different subject areas. So whatever background you're joining from, whatever your goals are as when you make the transition to industry, you know, you have the opportunity to connect that gap and build that bridge as part of Purdue MEM by really choosing all of the technical subjects that you'd like to study. And then next slide, I'll talk a little bit about our management subjects. This is also an area where, one back, sorry, Ritu, those look remarkably similar.
Okay.
Thanks. So for those management subjects, we also recognize that, you know, a lot of our students are looking to go into consulting careers. The students that are looking to start their own companies, like Abhishek and Drew that started Leo Aerospace a couple years ago as part of their curriculum in our program. So again, we really want you to be able to choose the content that's right for you, that matches your background, and then also, you know, serves as that launch pad, you know, when you do graduate and move into that technical leadership capacity in industry. So, you know, whatever your goals are, whatever background you're coming from, again, you can really have a flexible curriculum with us and make sure that you're studying things that you're passionate about, things that are in demand from industry, and, you know, making sure that you're generating a full profile. And then just quickly to wrap up here, since my 5 minutes are up, I think with the next slide, what makes us unique at Purdue, you have co-op and internship opportunities as part of our program. We really want you to develop a hands-on application-oriented skill set. Again, I've talked about the curriculum and the fees, the resources. Last slide, I promise, is the low tuition fees that we do have. We're fortunate as a public institution to be able to, you know, offer, you know, public institution tuition rates. And so, you know, I think we're a very good investment, and, you know, Purdue is consistently ranked as one of the best return on investments in the entire United States. And certainly Purdue MEM is no exception. So thanks again to all my colleagues. Thank you for joining us. And if you do have any information, we'll have another webinar coming up in just a couple of weeks here in November. Boiler up. Thanks, Ruth.
Perfect. Thank you, Eric. So I realize that this is a lot of information for our attendees, but we have 2 more programs to go, and then I'll open it up for your questions. So let's hear from Tufts. And let me see. Back here. Ethan, do you want to take us through Tufts MSIM program?
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you all for having me. My name is Ethan Robles. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for Tufts University's Gordon Institute. The Gordon Institute is the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, as well as professional education under Tufts University's School of Engineering. You'll notice, I think, in the name, not being an MEM or an MSEM, The Innovation in Management is a bit of a newer program offered by the Gordon Institute. We're looking for recent graduates as well as, of course, up to 2 years of work experience. And the focus of our program is certainly in generating the skills and, the academic focuses of an MSEM or an MEM, but then also thinking along entrepreneurial lines. I would say that one thing that differentiates us is the fact that we are very focused on early stage product and project management, generation, and growth. So with our program, we're thinking not only along the managerial and leadership lines of many of these programs, but also thinking about what it means to be a technology-driven leader and entrepreneur moving forward into a world that is saturated in technology. If you wouldn't mind to the next slide, please. So our program actually came about or was generated because of the ways that technology, as I said, saturates our environment. And we all know this. We're sitting on a webinar. The technology that we use affects the ways that we work. It affects the ways that we learn, and it affects the ways that we communicate. And with this large integration of technology into our daily lives, we are at largely a cresting point in human civilization. We see technology working in many amazing ways, from connecting communities across vast geographic distances to offering uprisings against oppressive governments in some cases. You know, there is great good to be had with the use of technology. But with great good, there also comes great potential for bad. So our program, more than anything else, wants to recognize this technological environment that students are entering into, coming out of certainly their undergrad or their early career experience, but then also give them the tools they need to work as a leader, to be a manager, but to do all of these things with a great degree of empathy and heart. More than anything else, we want to give students the opportunity to think ethically about the skills that they are accruing not only in their education, but in their professional career. So as they're taking this technical background that they have and solving problems that people need solutions to, they're not just thinking about the economic bottom line, but thinking also about the human cost and the human benefit of the solutions that they propose. So as you see on the next slide, so if you don't mind moving to it, Rutu. Thank you. I just want to go through the curriculum in a bit of detail with you. More than anything else that I would like to cover here is if you take a look at the top of each of these kind of boxes that I've given you, you see innovation sprints. And our program is centered around this idea of an innovation sprint. What that is a full innovation cycle in one semester. We are a small cohort experience here. So the classes that we bring in overall are about 30 to 40 students. And those 30 to 40 students go to each one of the classes together. So it is a small kind of environment where you have this opportunity to work together, to succeed together, and even to fail together at certain opportunities. But the innovation sprint breaks out that small environment even further, taking students down to teams of 4 to 6 individuals and asking each one of these teams to find a problem that is current, that is prescient and pressing, and then to find a solution to that problem. One of the most important things that I'd like to say is that nobody here is going to give you a problem to solve. We want you, as people who are keyed in and knowledgeable about the world around you and the culture around you, to find issues, problems that need solutions. And then as a team, generate those solutions together. And certainly that comes with a great degree of support from us, which I'll get to in a second. But also, we don't want you to be doing this work in a bubble. So once you have kind of figured out what your solution is to your problem, we send you out into the world here. We're located in Boston, Massachusetts, which is home to over 1,500 startups, to a population that each year welcomes over 200,000 students to the city. So we want to make sure that the solutions that you are proposing are not only workable to the problems that you're trying to solve, but also actually wanted out in the real world. A solution is not great if nobody wants to buy it. So customer discovery becomes a big part of that. The innovation sprint capitalizes on the semester system by, at the end of each semester, allowing you to present the solution that you have created, as well as a full business model for that solution. And that's where these classes come in. Creating a problem or creating a solution to a problem is not just saying A fixes B and that's it. As you know, creating any business or working in any company or corporation comes with a great degree of diverse skill sets. that we want to make sure that we're fostering on the background through classes and coursework. So you'll see here that new product innovation is kind of your sprint-centered class. That's where you have the opportunity to work in your sprint. But more importantly, as you filter out, you have marketing. When you live in a world as we do, where the individual person has become their own brand through social media, marketing becomes hugely important to startups, entrepreneurial ventures, companies and corporations, because not only do you need to have a presence, but you need to get people to buy into and care for that presence. This is equally important is finance. We want to make sure that you, am I running out of time or two?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay, good. Then I'll rush. So finance, certainly important, making sure that the businesses that you're thinking about are running in the black, and then leading for impact, giving you the negotiating and public speaking skills, as well as conflict resolution skills that you need. As you continue on, you see that data becomes huge in our curriculum as well as electives that are available to you through any school at Tufts. And then if you go to the last slide, I will quickly clean up. We are a 12 to 15 month program. It is a full-time program. As I said, it's a cohort experience built around innovation sprint projects. But the last thing I'll give you is the fact that one of the most popular options we have is the dual degree, which gives you the MS in Innovation and Management, as well as a technical master's, so 2 Master's of Science programs in 2 years from a wide range of different MS programs offered by Tufts. If you have any questions or concerns, anything else, please let me know. My contact information will be available at the end of the presentation. We'd love to talk to you, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ethan. All right, and to wrap up our presentation, we have Giza from USC. Hi, Giza.
You know, I was much more parsimonious. I am unmuted. Okay. I was much more parsimonious in my selection of slides, so I only have a few of them, but I pretty much have many of the same things to say as all the other schools did. We are, University of Southern California is actually the oldest private university on the West Coast. We were founded in 1880, and we are also a very large school, pretty much similar to Purdue, where we have almost 50,000 students, 20,000 undergraduates, and about 30,000 graduate students. So it's a very large campus located right in the center of Los Angeles, which of course is in the center of a area of about 10 million people. I think the most significant thing about that really is that when we jump later on to talking about internships, we have many opportunities for students to find internships amongst both large and small companies that are locally located. Of course, they go all around the country as well. Okay, go ahead and let me have the next slide then, Rutu. Okay, that's me. I am a graduate of USC. I did all my graduate work here quite a while ago. I also have a lot of industrial experience. I spent a quarter of a century with Xerox in a great variety of positions. But I've been at USC for 30 years now, and I truly enjoy leading this particular program. Let me say a few more things about our engineering school. Is also fairly large, although our undergraduate population, we only have about 2,000 engineering students. We take in around 500 students a year. And we have about 8,000 graduate students in 8 different departments. And the other unique thing about our program is that we are housed inside an academic department. We are part of the Industrial and Systems Engineering department, which is one of the smaller departments in the school. We have about 24 faculty. And well, okay, let me get the next slide then and get to the program. Okay, as similarly to the other programs, we have a couple of core electives, and then separate out into tracks. As you can see from this particular slide, The basic courses are statistics, engineering management, project management, and managing engineers and leading teams, and the economics of engineering. So everyone takes those courses. Our cohort tends to be somewhere between 50 and 70 students. Most students are here for 3 semesters, including a summer. So the most common way of getting those 30 units is to spend 3 semesters here and the summer in between. We have an analytics area in which we require at least 1 analytics class, but you get a choice of, obviously, as you can see, there are 5 different classes. We also require 1 class out of the technology area, and there's a smaller set of choices there. But again, there's a free elective in there in business or industrial engineering. And as several of the other programs mentioned, we also are very liberal about approving classes as long as they're graduate level classes and form a complement to the program that you've actually chosen. We have 5 tracks: management, analytics, innovation and technology, supply chain and operations, and a custom track. And as one of the other programs mentioned, custom tracks tend to be the most popular because people get to choose their own thing. By the way, because our undergraduates, of course, come from a variety, almost all engineering fields. Some of them like to enhance their basic knowledge, whether it's mechanical, electrical, or computer science, or whatever. So they tend to make a custom track that actually tends to supplement that whole idea. Okay, so next slide, please, Rutu. And so here are the details of each of the tracks. Each track has a requirement of 3 classes, and you can choose from a larger set in some. In some, the choices are a little bit more limited. And of course, when you create a custom track, you can create pretty much what you want, which leaves one elective of 3 units, most of which are used up by the students in order to get internships. And most internships are 1 unit, and but you can get them for 2 or 3 units as well, depending on how much time you actually spend. And I would say the vast majority of our students do get internships. The demographics of our students we're about 30 to 35% women. We have about 70% in international students, and they come from a great variety of countries, and but principally China and India, as in most programs, although we usually have a fair set of Brazilian and Turkish students and Iranians, which make up the other larger groups. Yeah, my time's running out too. Okay, do I have another slide? I don't remember.
There's this.
Oh yes. We have. We also have dual degrees, and what the benefit there is, for 48 units, you can actually earn 2 separate master's degrees by reducing the requirements in each of the programs. And to the last slide, which I think is one of the most important ones, actually, because about 20% of our students are online students. Our online program, by the way, is 45 years old, and it's webcast, and it's completely identical to the on-campus program, because we have proctored exams, and the students have access through WebEx to actually attend the lessons. Of course, they also can do it asynchronously. And I think my time's up, so I'm gonna let it go with that.
Perfect. Thank you, Giza. So that was, as I said before, there's a lot of information that was presented in this webinar. We have some time for Q&A, so if you have questions, please raise your hands, and I can unmute you from this control panel.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question. Hello.
Go ahead, Henrietta. We can hear you fine.
I have 0 to like because I'm from Nigeria and I want to do engineering management for masters, and in my country we also do 1 year compulsory for our country, Nigeria. So where you work for the government and they help you develop your skills and all those stuff. So that was the only experience I have after I finished school, because in Nigeria there is high there's high rate of unemployment. So getting a job is kind of difficult. But I still want to do my master's. Is it okay for me to apply with almost 0 to 1 years of experience for engineering management?
Yes, I believe it is. All of the programs that we've talked about are looking for students that have between 0 and 2 years of work experience. So you would be a perfect fit in terms of your work experience, and you would fit in with the students coming in.
Okay. Please, another question. Is it a must that you must have a GRE before you can apply?
I believe most of our programs require a GRE score to be able to apply. But if you're interested in any particular program, you can email you can email them and ask exactly what the requirements are.
Okay. Is there any way we can still have this seminar? Is it being recorded so that in case like I have a question, I can just go to the video and then contact the school?
Yeah, I will send out these slides so you will have the contact information for everybody who talked today.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very interesting. I learned about so many things that I could now want. But another question, please. The tuition fees. Please, can I have a range average of from the lowest to the highest?
I am not sure I understand the question, Henrietta.
Okay, sorry. Okay, don't worry. How should I, like,
do you want to email that to me? You have my email address, right? And then I can follow up with you offline.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you for this.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you.
Adi, I think you had a question.
Yeah, actually, I would like to know what are the basic requirements to get admission to the Cornell University.
So I think that's a specific question for Lisa.
It is, yes. And do we want to keep our questions kind of general to the program, and I can follow up individually?
Shall we do that, Adi? Can you email Lisa at this email address that you see on your screen, and then she can follow up with you individually?
I'd be happy to talk to you.
Okay, fine. I will mail you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions?
No.
Anybody else have questions for us? Well, if not, we are almost out of time. So thank you everybody for joining. I will send out these slides. I see that's a very common question. So I will send out these slides to all the attendees. And then if you have any questions, you can follow up with the individual programs, or you can follow up with me if you have a general question. At this point, I would like to thank everybody. I would like to thank our panelists for taking the time and giving us an overview of their programs, as well as all the attendees who joined in and stayed till the end of this webinar. I know there was a lot of information. So thank you, everybody. We have 2 more info sessions coming up. These are for programs for students with more than 2 years of work experience, as well as the programs that are offered by distance learning or online. So if you're interested, please look us up at mempc.org/events and sign up for those info sessions as well. So thank you, and have a great day and have a great weekend.
Is it just us now?
Now we still have the attendees, Isa. So I'm going to end this meeting and say thank you again to all of you guys. And then I'll be in touch with you all with the attendee information as well as questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey.
Okay, bye.